Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Raw. We'll take things off tonight with Stephanie McMahon has been announcement regarding the future of WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw, and welcome to one of the loudest, most passionate, most unapologetically intense WWE cities in the world, Toronto, Canada. Tonight isn't just another Raw. Tonight's the beginning of a new era in WWE. For years, Raw and SmackDown have operated under brand split. Separate rosters, separate rules, separate opportunities. And while that era created unforgettable moments, it's all created barriers. Barriers that no longer serve the future of WWE. So let me make this perfectly clear. As of tonight, the brand split is officially over. Raw and SmackDown will now stand together as the two premier shows in all of sports entertainment, each featuring the entire WWE roster. No more restrictions, no more brand loyalty, no more excuses. If you are a WWE superstar, you go where the competition is fierce, where the fans demand to see you. And that brings me to NXT. NXT has always been the proving ground, the birthplace of the future. But the future doesn't wait. The future doesn't stay in one place. So from this moment forward, NXT will operate in full collaboration with both Raw and SmackDown. That means NXT talent will appear on both shows. That means cross-brand rivalries. That means opportunities for every hungry, driven, fearless competitor ready to step up. Raw and SmackDown are the stage, and NXT is the pipeline, and together they form the strongest roster in WWE history. And speaking about history, let's talk about the first premium event of this new era. Saturday night live from Paris, France, WWE presents Saturday night's main event. And in the main event will feature the World Heavyweight Championship being defended by the man who calls himself the Visionary, Seth freaking Rollins. But his opponent, that will be decided right here on Raw. Be the Seth Rollins will defend his talent pairs against the winner of tonight's main event, CM Punk or Cody Rhodes. Two of the biggest names, biggest stars in WWE, two of the most polarizing figures in this industry. Two men who want that championship for very different reasons. But only one will earn the right to go to Paris and challenge Seth Rollins on one-on-one on one of the biggest international stages we have ever produced. This is a new WWE, unpredictable, unfilled, unified, global, and all starts tonight right here. Toronto, I said, Toronto, are you ready? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Big announcement by Stephanie McMahon to kick off Raw. We got some more ambulance action for you coming up right here on Raw. Don't go away. We're action live next. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev, and he's here live on Monday Night Raw.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Bulgaria, weighing in at 304 pounds, Rusev!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Bulgarian Brute Rusev, ready for action. Here tonight on Monday Night Raw, goes one-on-one with the ruler, Obafemi, the former NXT champion. But as we just heard from Vince McMahon, there is no more brand split, which means Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are all on the same company, same era. This is a new era at WWE. We start here tonight on the road to Saturday night's main event in Paris, France. We all know Seth Rollins will defend his title appearance in Paris. But who will we face? We'll find out that later on tonight. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes in our main event still come tonight here on Monday Night Raw. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Rusev. And here comes the ruler of NXT and now the ruler of WWE, Obafemi. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the ruler, Obafemi, looking for a fight tonight. Here on Monday Night Raw, Obafemi versus Rusev, the Bulgarian Brute Rusev, here on Monday Night Raw, live on Netflix, here in Toronto. Well, Obafemi, the ruler of NXT, the former NXT champion, the last NXT champion before NXT was put into both Raw and SmackDown. But ladies and gentlemen, Obafemi, the ruler of NXT, Obafemi is here on Raw to prove he is what everyone says he is. He is the ruler of WWE right now, Obafemi. Obafemi versus Rusev, Monday Night Raw. I'll do it again. Because I don't choose I don't want to be choose my people, so whatever. That's fine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raw. We had to get this match restarted with after a little difficulty. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Rusev versus Obafemi here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Rusev and Obafemi, one-on-one action here in Toronto. And here we go, Obafemi versus Rusev. Monday Night Raw. Action, ladies and gentlemen. As we heard earlier today, Seth McMahon announced that we will see a match to determine who will face Seth freaking Rollins in Paris, France at Saturday night's main event in just 3 weeks. Live in Paris at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the ring. Obafemi versus the ruler versus Rusev here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix in Toronto, Canada. And here comes the Bulgarian Brute Rusev. The Bulgarian Brute Rusev showing Obafemi who's the man in charge here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Obafemi versus Rusev on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. On Netflix, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight. Here we go. Obafemi lays down the beat already to Rusev here on Monday Night Raw. Rusev versus Obafemi. This is a match we never thought we'd see here in WWE. We're seeing here tonight on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Here tonight, sold out, ladies and gentlemen. We have a big night of action here on Monday Night Raw here in Toronto, ladies and gentlemen. We will hear from the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, who will be here live later on tonight. Seth Rollins will be here live later on tonight. The visionary. Seth, the visionary, the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins will be here later on tonight, here on Monday Night Raw, live on Netflix. Rusev versus Obafemi, here on Monday Night Raw, on Netflix. Well, ladies and gentlemen, What a night it's going to be here on Netflix. Here in the Scotia Bank Arena. We are sold out here in Toronto tonight for Monday Night Raw. For Monday Night Raw. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Femi versus Rusev. Monday Night Raw action here, folks. Sold out tonight. Rusev versus Oba versus the ruler, Oba Femi. Well, Oba Femi, the ruler of NXT, Oba Femi, who's now here on Monday Night Raw against the Bulgarian brute, Rusev. Here on Monday Night Raw, live on Netflix. Well, Rusev here tonight. A new attitude for Rusev, new look for Rusev. The Bulgarian brute is no longer the man who he used to be. The man who people like to call him Rusev Day. As there's no more Rusev Day here at WWE. But this is a match we thought we'd never see. Rusev versus Oba Femi. Here on Monday Night Raw. On Netflix. Here in Toronto. At the Scotia Bank Arena. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Rusev versus Oba Femi. Monday Night Raw action, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw action here. Back in the room we go. Back inside the room of Rusev and Oba Femi. And the ruler game manhandled here by the Bulgarian brute. Rusev here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And Rusev will put Oba away here. The monster kick to Oba Femi by Rusev. 1, 2, kick out 2 by the ruler, Oba Femi. Well, Rusev and Oba Femi, Monday Night Raw action. Here comes Oba. Femi has Rusev where he wants him. Down goes Rusev by Oba Femi again. 1, 2, kick out 2 by Rusev. By the Bulgarian brute, Rusev. Here on Monday Night Raw, Rusev and the ruler of NXT. Well, here we go. Match get underway here. A brawl in the middle of the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Rusev versus Oba Femi. Monday Night Raw action here tonight. Sold out here in Toronto. Oba Femi, the ruler of NXT. Sure, why he is the ruler of NXT. And ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, kick out 2 by Rusev. The Bulgarian brute kicks out 2. And Rusev and Oba Femi, one-on-one action here in Toronto, Canada. The Scotia Bank Arena. Sold out. We are sold out tonight for Monday Night Raw. Down goes Oba. Rusev from the lock in the accolade. The accolade is locked in on Oba. Oba has the accolade locked in on him. Will Rusev tap out Oba? Will Oba Femi tap out the Rusev? Here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Rusev, Oba Femi. Who's going to get the upper hand here tonight? Rusev has it locked in by Oba. Oba escapes the accolade. The accolade does not put Oba away. And here comes the ruler, Oba Femi from behind. Back to the skull. Oba Femi and Rusev. One-on-one action here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. What a match we're seeing here live, ladies and gentlemen. Oba Femi versus Rusev. Monday Night Raw action here in Toronto, Canada. Rusev and Oba Femi, the ruler of NXT versus Rusev. And Oba Femi, Oba again. Oba Femi lays down Rusev once again. 1, 2, no, kick out 2 by Rusev. Another kick out by the Bulgarian brute. Rusev and Oba Femi. Here we go. Fists are flying. Here on Monday Night Raw, Rusev and Alba Femi are going to face them for fighting out here tonight. Brawl is on the way between Rusev and Alba Femi. Alba again, the ruler. 1, 2, kick on there at 2. By the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev. Well, the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev and Alba Femi. Monday Night Raw action, ladies and gentlemen. Sold out here in Toronto in the Scotia Bank Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, we're count 2, a referee at count 2 here. Dave Angler, referee tonight for this matchup between Alba Femi and Rusev here on Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Back to we go on that side of the ring at count 3. Rusev going on top. Rusev. And Rusev look for another accolade. The other accolade again. And this time, the ruler taps. Rusev beats Alba Femi here on Monday Night Raw. What a match to kick off Raw here on Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. What a way to kick off Raw here tonight with Alba Femi and Rusev. What a match we saw here to kick off Raw. Kick off Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. The new war has officially begun tonight. Rusev beats Alba Femi here tonight.
Here is your winner, Rusev.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. Accolade again. Another accolade by Rusev. Trying to make Alba tap. Alba pass out here. The ref tried to give Rusev off Alba. But ladies and gentlemen, more action go next on Raw. Don't go away with more action here tonight. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Raw. And it is Tiffany time here in Toronto. Here comes Tiffany Stratton.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Prior Lake, Minnesota, Tiffany Stratton.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tiffany Stratton, ready for action here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Let's go one-on-one against the mystery opponent. Who's the opponent? We're going to find live in moments right here in Toronto. It's Tiffany Stratton's International Law next. There's a mystery opponent. Wait a minute! Toronto's own Trish Stratus is back! And she's here for action. For what? Action.
And her opponent from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Trish Stratus.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Trish Stratus has been seen since she lost her wrestlers WrestleMania. But tonight, she's here tonight in action against Tiffany Stratton. There's a really big match tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Trish Stratus, Canada's own Trish Stratus, Toronto's own Trish Stratus, ladies and gentlemen, here in the ring on Monday Night Raw tonight against Tiffany Stratton here on Netflix. And here we go. The crowd are loving this so far. The crowd getting into this fight so far tonight. Stratton versus Trish Stratus. And here we go. And the handshake being given. Will Stratton give the handshake? Yes, she does. A little show of sportsmanship here on Monday Night Raw in this match. And here we go. Stratton versus Trish Stratus. And here we go. Match underway here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Big matchup here. Stratus elbow tie up here early on. Elbow tie up here early on. Both women have a tie up here early on. Dive here, but try to dive into the corner here. Go the ropes, try to do what she wants here. The ref try to break it up. This Chandra break up the thing here. No bad sportsmanship here. Good move there by them tonight. Stratus and Stratus. It's a bit of Stratus faction here tonight, and Tiffany time here. Stratus goes down by Tiffany Stratton here early on in this matchup. Well, Stratton wants to show to the world tonight. She wants to put away the Hall of Famer, Trish Stratus. Here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix here in Toronto. There's been a long time since we've seen Trish Stratus in the WWE ring till tonight, but she's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. She's back in the middle of the ring here on Netflix. And here we go, and there's Stratus again. Takes down Trish, the Hall of Famer, Trish Stratus. And here we go. And look at this again. Stratton and Trish Stratus. Monday Night Raw action here on Netflix in the Scotiabank Arena. And it is time. Everyone, the crowd are loving it here tonight in Toronto for Trish McKenna's own Trish Stratus. And a back to the head. Early on here, back to the head hit tonight. Oh my God. I think she's busted open. I think Stratus has been busted open here in Toronto. Here comes Stratus. Rolling senton. And Stratus calling for her. It's Tiffany time. 1, 2, no, good old one by the Hall of Famer, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus with the dinner down. But Stratus isn't done. Stratus is looking for something here on Monday Night Raw here in Toronto. Here with her fans here in Toronto. Oh, Stratton trying to lay her out there lay her out of the ring. And Stratton, down goes Stratton. That's a bend. And Trish Stratus on the outside of the ring here on Monday Night Raw. Both women, this match should be counted out here. That could be a count out here early on this match. Here we go. Another back breaker into the barricade by Stratton. By Trish. Back we go now, by side the roof for Stratus and Tiffany Stratton. Here comes Trish, throwing her up here for Stratus. She has a message here. Down goes Tiffany Stratton. The chick kick by Trish Stratus. 1, 2, no, 2 by Tiffany Stratton. What a matchup here. Both women putting it on the line here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix here in Toronto. What a match we're seeing here live, ladies and gentlemen. Big fight feel here on Raw tonight. Stratton and Trish Stratus. Monday Night Raw action on Netflix in Toronto. Here we go. It's time for some Stratus faction. And that could be it, folks. 1, 2, 3. Trish Stratus beats Stratton here on Raw in Toronto. What a match. What a match we just saw here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. In Toronto on Monday Night Raw, Stratton versus Trish Stratus was a hell of a match here in Toronto tonight. Well, these highlights games show you an incredible match we saw tonight here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. What a fight. And what a match it was here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And Stratton.
Here is your winner, Trish Stratus.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Trish Stratus did the victory here in her hometown of Toronto. What a win, ladies and gentlemen, tonight for Trish Stratus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's all say thank you, Trish, for being here in Toronto tonight on Monday Night Raw. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the tag team action. And here comes the Vision. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman. The Vision is here on Raw, looking to dominate the competition.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. On their way to the ring, accompanied by Paul Heyman and a combined weight of 580 pounds. Bronson Reed in Braun Breaker, the Vision.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Vision, ready for Monday Night Raw tonight action. The Vision. With a tag team match, individual one-on-one, they don't take on the newest, take on the New Day, the new version of the New Day tonight here on Raw. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this match is going to be determining who will face the Street Profits this Friday on SmackDown. Well, that match will go on to next Monday. We'll go on the next Monday in New York City to face the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out what happens tonight. Who will go on here in this tournament? Live on Raw. Take action coming up. And here is your boys, the New Day. No Big E. Big E was sent to a hospital by these two men at WrestleMania.
And a combined weight of 417 pounds. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, the New Day.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I was just alluding to, at WrestleMania, last year WrestleMania, the New Day turned their back on Big E, attacked him with steel chairs, busted him open, threw him over the arena, broke his damn neck. And Big E has been out with an injury, been sent to the hospital, still in hospital, recovering from that brutal attack by his friends, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. But all they had to say on social media was that Big E deserved what happened to him. And we should all thank God for the New Day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the New Day have a challenge ahead of them tonight. They take on the Vision, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Braun Breaker taking things off against Xavier Woods of the New Day here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Here we go. Match underway here. Kofi Kingston on the outside of the ring. Here comes Xavier Woods in the ring with Braun Breaker, the badass Braun Breaker, the former NXT champion, former North American champion, former World Heavyweight champion. But Braun Breaker, more dangerous than ever here. Braun Breaker here on Monday Night Raw. He's going one-on-one against going to this tag team action, this division, the most dominant faction in the world now. Here we go. And here we go. Here comes Xavier Woods. Here goes Xavier Woods. Down goes Braun Breaker. I don't know Braun Breaker here on Monday Night Raw. I know from behind. Braun Breaker, the badass. Braun Breaker showing Xavier Woods why he is the badass, the most dangerous motherfucker in WWE history. In WWE. Oh, this monster of a man, Braun Breaker. Here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix against the Xavier Woods of the New Day. Here on Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. Down goes Braun Breaker again. Breaker's down here. Picked up here one, not even a one count. Not even a one count by Breaker. And here comes a Braun Breaker now. It's Xavier Woods of the New Day. What a match we're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. And Braun Breaker showing the world why he's in charge. But watch this. We're getting a tag. Yes, we are. Here comes Kofi. Here comes Kofi Kingston, the man who said Big E deserved what they did to him at WrestleMania. Did to him at WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen, but the Big E's not been seen since the brutal attack at WrestleMania by the New Day. Our former friends, the New Day, here at WWE, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Paul Heyman removed the turnbuckle pad here on Monday Night Raw. I don't know why he did that, but watch this. In the corner here, beat down again in the corner by Braun Breaker, and the Vision are proven they are the most dominant faction in the world here, folks. And again, we know what's coming. We know what's coming. Braun Breaker, look for the spear. And the spear connects to the body, connects to Kofi Kingston. But Xavier Woods breaks up the pin here on Raw. Xavier Woods. But Xavier just took down the ring. Xavier Woods. Bronson Reed. Now we got Bronson Reed in the ring. Now it's Bronson Reed, the tribal thief. The man known as the tribal thief. The tribal thief. Bronson Reed. What you see here, Bronson Reed giving the world time to acknowledge him as he stole Roman Reigns' stole everything from Roman a few years back, but now Bronson Reed, the most dangerous man, Bronson Reed, part of this most dangerous faction ever here tonight. But Bronson Reed, Kofi, left by the corner, tagging him. It's Xavier's in. Here comes Xavier Woods. Down goes Braun. And Xavier Woods takes advantage of Braun Breaker outside the ring. Not what we thought we'd see there, but. And I look at the attack there by Bronson Reed. This is not looking good for Kofi. Uh-oh. Throw him in the ring. Laid him out. Big down here. Kofi. Ref's down. Kofi is down. The New Day are in trouble now. You're on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Beat down here by Bronson Reed. And the Vision. With a dominate, here's the Vision. Here on Netflix. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful. There's tsunami coming through. But the ref called the match off. Why did the ref call the match off here, folks? But what a win, though. But ladies and gentlemen, we're still the account that the win is Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They won. That means they go on to face the Street Profits this Friday night on SmackDown. Friday night on SmackDown. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the ref got involved there. No one thought we'd see, but ladies and gentlemen, we'll come next. We have more action for you live here on Netflix. But ladies and gentlemen, But come up next, we're going to hear, we might hear from the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, who's here in the building. Yes, he is. Rollins is here. The World Heavyweight Champion is in the building live next. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here is the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Toronto! You guys sound good tonight, real good. Must be something in there, huh? Maybe it's because earlier tonight, Jared Man came out here and dropped the bombshell on the entire WWE Universe. Brand split gone, rosters unified, NXT wide open, and honestly, I love it. Because when the playing field gets bigger, the target on my back gets bigger too. And I've never been afraid of a big target. This right here, this is the most important championship in WWE. And now with the entire roster eligible to come after it, that means the best of the best are lining up. Which brings me to tonight's main event. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Now Cody's a guy I know very well. Very, very well. We've danced before. We've bled before. We've stormed the show before. And if he wins tonight, I know exactly what I'm getting, a war. Well, I'm getting a war. But Punk? Oh, Punk. Fragile Phil himself. The man who breaks more often than he wrestles. The man who spent 10 years telling the world he didn't need WWE, only to come throwing back the second he realized the spotlight doesn't shine anywhere else. Phil, buddy, I don't know if your body can handle a match in Paris. I don't know if your ego can handle losing to me again. And I definitely don't know if your little glass bones can handle a stomp. But hey, if you somehow survive Cody Rhodes tonight, if you somehow make it to Saturday Night Main Event, I'll be waiting. Because whether it's the American Nightmare or Fragile Phil, the result is the same. Seth Rollins walks in Paris as champion and walks out still your World Heavyweight Champion in Toronto. Now sing my song. Whoa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Rollins made a big shocker here, but ladies and gentlemen, our main event still come tonight. CM Punk. Well, ladies and gentlemen, main event still come tonight. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, with the winner will face Seth freaking Rollins at Saturday night's main event. But come up next, we'll more action for you live next on Raw. Then we're to the match live on Raw next. A contenders match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And here comes Liv Morgan here on Monday Night Raw.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Judgment Day from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Liv Morgan.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan here in action live on Raw. This number is contenders match. To see will face Maxine Dupree this Friday on SmackDown for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maxine Dupree will be watching this match closely, I have a feeling. Because Liv Morgan's actually live, and it's the mystery opponent from NXT who's going to be to face her in the ring tonight. Oh well, ladies and gentlemen, Lola Vice from NXT making her debut tonight on Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
From Miami, Florida,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lola Vice, the hard hitter of NXT and now hard hitter of Monday Night WWE, is now coming to the ring tonight in action against Liv Morgan for an opportunity to go on to face Maxine Dupree this Friday on SmackDown for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to find out soon enough who has what it takes to be the number one contender for the Women's United States Women's Intercontinental Championship. That match is live, and it is happening next on Monday Night Raw. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And here we go. Lola Vice versus Liv Morgan. Oh, Liv Morgan from behind already to the advantage. All right behind Liv Morgan. The dangerous woman Liv Morgan is after joining the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan has been the most dangerous opponent in the history of WWE for any woman in woman in WWE. But tonight, she has an opportunity to put away her opponent. Put away an opponent, be opportunity to go to SmackDown this Friday night and face Maxine Dupree for the Women's Intercontinental Championship this Friday on SmackDown from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan versus Lola Vice. Monday Night Raw action here. In women's action here tonight, number one contender match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Which will face Maxine Dupree this Friday night on SmackDown here on Netflix. Well, here we go. Liv Morgan earlier today, she said she's ready to put the world on notice tonight by beating her opponent so quick beating her opponent tonight early on here on Netflix tonight, ladies and gentlemen. See Dupree will be watching this match very closely here tonight. Dupree backstage here on Raw, watching this match very closely to see who her opponent is going to be on Friday night, be this Friday on SmackDown, live on Netflix, live right here on Netflix. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan, Liv takes advantage of Liv. I think Liv's going for something there. Liv's going for something. Is Liv? Oblivion by Liv. 1, 2, 3. Liv Morgan is not one to tender. And here comes the champ, Maxine Dupree, who in just 4 days will face Liv Morgan on SmackDown for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Right here on Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a big match. This Friday night on SmackDown, Liv Maxine Dupree for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event. The Vital Wolf face Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. And here comes the best in the world, CM Punk. Well, they will right back to a short break. Don't go away. We're right back in the short commercial break.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois. Weighing in at 218 pounds. CM Punk.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on Monday Night Raw. And I'm excited to see what happens here. Cody Rhodes. Here on Raw, will he become the number 1 contender and go on to face Seth freaking Rollins at Saturday night's main event, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for your main event here on Monday Night Raw.
And his opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 222 pounds, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Cody Rhodes looking to head to Paris, France tonight if he beats CM Punk. Tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. The winner faces Seth freaking Rollins at Saturday night's main event in Paris, France. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the winner will have a word with Kathy Kelly about their win tonight. Whoever wins, will be in the ring with Kathy Kelly after this match. Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, what happens here live. Our main event, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Live on Monday Night Raw in our main event here tonight in Toronto. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Monday Night Raw action here on Netflix. Here we go. Cody. All right, on the half start, here's Cody against CM Punk. Cody wants Punk. Cody wants to beat Punk tonight and go on to Saturday's main event to face Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. We all know that Seth Rollins said some hurtful words to CM Punk, and I had a word with Punk before this match, earlier tonight when he heard that Seth Rollins called him Fragile Phil. Well, CM Punk told me that Seth Rollins says I'm fragile, but at Saturday, if I beat Cody tonight, at Saturday's main event, I'm going to beat his ass. I'm going to make him realize that he is not protected. I'm going to be the man who's going to beat him and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. Monday Night Raw action in our main event. Live in Toronto. Live on Monday Night Raw here in Toronto. CM Punk. Cody Rhodes. Monday Night Raw action in our main event. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a big show for you this Friday on SmackDown. As we all know now, we'll be Maxine Dupree defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Liv Morgan. This Friday on SmackDown. Plus the Vision will take on the Street Profits this Friday night on SmackDown as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll see what happens here tonight. Here we go. Big matchup here. Monday Night Raw action. Here we go. Beat down in the ring. Cody has busted open Punk. Punk's been busted open by Cody Rhodes by the American Nightmare. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we also have a big announcement that we'll hear from the man Becky Lynch this Friday on SmackDown. The man will be here live on SmackDown this Friday night. And she'll be talking about Saturday's main event and announcing that she will have an open challenge to see what she wants an open challenge against anyone at Saturday's main event. Well, let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Big matchup here. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Monday Night Raw action in our main event for the World main event. This one will face Seth freaking Rollins at Saturday's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. World Heavyweight title. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the best in the world. Anaconda the Vice locked in. Anaconda the Vice locked in on Cody. Anaconda the Vice locked in on Cody Rhodes. Cody's in deep, deep trouble now. Cody's in deep trouble now here on Raw against CM Punk. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk have history. Both men want to go to the main event in Paris. But CM Punk. Uh-oh. Here we go. Crossroad by Cody. Is that it? Is Cody Rhodes out of the 1, 2? No. Punk kicked out of 2. CM Punk kicked out of 2. Cody Rhodes. CM Punk. This match is incredible. It's insane. Both men want it. Both men want the main event spot. Both men want Seth Rollins. That's Saturday night's main event for World Heavyweight Championship. But who wants it more? We're getting that right now here on Monday Night Raw. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Cody's got him somewhere. Cody Rhodes. Crossroads again by Cody. 1, 2, 2. Another kick out 2 by CM Punk. And the best in the world, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Punk calling it for the end. Punk calling for the end here. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. The GTS, they're going to sleep. Punk has done it. Has Punk done it? 1, 2. No! Cody kicked out of 2. Punk can't believe it. I can't believe it. The crowd thinking this match is not over yet. Match isn't over yet. Punk, Cody. 1-on-1. Winner goes to face Seth Rollins. That's our main event. Big matchup here. See these two men. Cody Rhodes is in deep trouble now as Cody. By CM Punk. Punk again. Anaconda Vice. Anaconda Vice. But he hit the rope. The rope break saves the match for Cody Rhodes. Wait a minute. No, my God. He got him. The GT has to go to sleep. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk faces Seth Rollins. That's Saturday night main event. What a match. What a main event, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk faces Seth Rollins in 3 weeks at Saturday night's main event in Paris, France, for the World Heavyweight Championship. What a match, what a main event we saw here tonight on Monday Night Raw. What a match. Cody almost had it. Cody almost beat Punk tonight. But Punk is your winner tonight, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk is your winner here on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Punk is your winner. Well, CM Punk heads. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here is Kathy Kelly with CM Punk. CM Punk, congratulations on your victory tonight over Seth freaking Rollins. The Seth Rollins on Saturday night. Kathy, tonight wasn't just about a win. Just a win. Tonight was a message. Cody Rhodes one of the best in the world, no doubt. But I'm better. I proved in that ring, and I proved once again that the best in the world is just a catchphrase. It's a fact. Now let's talk about Saturday main event. Let's talk about Paris. Saturday main event, 3 weeks from now. Seth Rollins, the so-called visionary, the man who's been dancing around with the World Heavyweight Championship like it's a fashion accessory. Seth, I hope you watched what I did tonight. I hope you felt what happened to Cody. That was just a warm-up. In Paris, I'm not coming to steal the show. I'm coming to take your title. I'm coming to take everything you've built, your little kingdom. And when the bell rings, when the dust settles, when the people in France start chanting my name, you're going to be looking at the new World Heavyweight Champion. And Seth, you can believe that, or you can just wait to be proven wrong. Strong words from CM Punk. It's our main event 3 weeks away from Paris tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They will join us. Join us here tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight.